And another things I need to add is that the two additional octaves are what is after we have the story of the possibility of a man and a woman experiencing relation. We have this second process which comes over let's just say this is individual, like physical or personal, or what really happens between the bodies. But then we come with the social level, which is translated into what marriage represents. And you have the form of marriage coming with all these stages, all the possibilities. And then we have the third level, which is soul mating, because the second is social, the third is cosmic. So these are the other two processes that are going to come along. And there is this collapse point, which I studied a lot in my books, which is here, which is the same thing as the story, but in reverse. Like the best way to understand this is if you look at sexual energy as horizontal, man and woman, sexual energy between them. Above them is what is called angel level, which is no sexuality, because there is no binary rupture between the sexes. Okay. Yeah. This is where it comes from. It's still sexual energy, but angelic level is not. It's above the original sin, let's say. And this is, let's say, the story of Adam and Eve in heaven. But then in the mirror, you have, not by absence of sexual tension, super presence of sexual tension. It's not reconciliation, it's collapse. So we have still something.
It's a stick with two ends, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
One end.
You still have both nature and society together, but not because they are reconciliated and not separated, but because they are collapsed in such a way that nothing is possible there. And this is what I say to be pornography, because it's really happening, the relation, like it's really happening physically, but it only happens because of the social level. Otherwise, it would not be happening.
True.
So this is the collapse that it's associated with a lot of spiritual problems, because they don't know why. They don't know how to say this is a problem. But the problem is because it is a pharma-soul phenomenon. A phenomenon of collapse under the division between sin and sinner. So it's not bad in itself. The place where it appears, it's a place of collapse.
Why is collapse wrong? Let's give this short answer to our viewers. Why is collapse so wrong? In this case, I mean. On this Enneagram, not in general.
Okay. Let's find out why it's wrong intellectually, why it's wrong emotionally, and why it's wrong physically.
Okay.
Physically, the collapse is wrong because it takes away space. Collapse, by definition, means you don't have space anymore.
Yeah.
And the problem with this place is that is under the laws of movement of the natural world, and it creates a world which is possible, and because it's possible, it becomes by gravitation actual, where there are twice as many laws, because more collapse, less movement of less freedom of movement, because it's less space. This is what happens. It's like the room is falling over you. You still exist, but you are oppressed, right? Because of this situation. You have to get out of there. This is why they say that you have to go back to the laws of nature by the Enneagram, because under the Enneagram is this place where the sinner and the sin are one. And this means twice of restrictions, less space of movement. I give you an example. Like the reactions of humans which come from ego. It's not enough that nature is hard and solving things against nature, against temperature, I don't know, rain, storm. It's hard already. It's hard already to do things in the physical world, in the natural world. It's hard to stay there and to collaborate with other humans. It's not enough. You have to double this by the laws of ego, which is the energy which you still have going into the void. You don't use it because you throw it away. and that makes twice of hard of doing something. Less space, more laws is not enough. That is difficult, and it makes you sad that the tragedy, external tragedy happens. You have to be twice as sad because you are offended, for something that does not exist. This is an example of collapse. So from the physical point of view, it means less possibility of movement. Let's say pornography, right? This is less possibilities of movement, both for men and women, because women spend their sexual energy they have for pair bonding with men in order to go on the natural development of the Enneagram, like back to soulmating in heaven. Yeah. They spend it in this collapse zone. It takes everything from them, right? Yeah. So they have no space anymore for men. And the same with men, because they consume their sexual energy in the void of pornography. This is the same. They have no energy for women anymore.
To chase them,
to develop relations with them. Chase them they will, because they chase the women out of ego. But they chase women. Some of them are successful, very few, but they are. But to actually develop a natural relation with a woman, that's a whole different thing. You can sit in the same house with a woman and never have a natural relation. It never happens. It happens nothing there, right? You never go on the soulmating end towards Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah.
And this is the case, the general case. And this is because pornography. And pornography has two polarities, because there is physical pornography, which is porn, and emotional pornography, which is mainly love movies, which are the same story, but for the women, let's say. Yeah. And they fulfill the same problem, let's say. I was going to say purpose, but I think this is not the right meaning.
No.
For women, they take away the possibility to actually have a natural relation with a man, because they chase something that does not exist, and their emotions are so, they lack sensitivity because of what a movie can give you, which no man can.
Yeah.
So you acquire a habit of chasing some emotion that you cannot actually get in a real relation. It's illusion, right? Yeah. And men the same. They try to imitate the men in the love movies, which are completely imbeciles.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you do what they do in love movies, no women will respect you whatsoever, right? So you cannot have an actual relation with a woman like you can perhaps have a trip with her, have some romance, fight, break up, but you'll never have a real relation with a woman on the Enneagram of relations. You'll just stay there forever in the vortex, towards the void, right?
Yeah.
So this is the problem of collapse on the physical level. In the intellectual level, it's pure stupidity, because collapsing things is pure stupidity. And in the emotional level, it's even worse, because the kind of humans that are under this emotional collapse of levels is the collapse between sinner and sin. And because of that, they are one with the sin, I said this before, and they see themselves above sin. The human who sees themselves above sin, there's nothing you can do with them. Forever. They are not reasonable. Their self-entitlement is impenetrable, indestructible. It's always a game of chances with them. Maybe something good will happen, probably not. And even if it's something good happens, at the end of the day, will become its opposite, and they will ruin everything good they did because of the self-entitlement. And like I said, the more right they are, the more wrong they act. So this is the problem with collapse. This being said, pornography in itself is not necessarily evil. It can be a tool, because like everything else, it's a place. Yeah. A place is not evil in itself. Depends who enters that, who goes there, why, I wanted to be clear about that, because I don't want to be like a Bible boy who comes and said the Bible said. I'm not that kind of person, and I have to make that clear, right?
No, true. Fair enough.
Yeah. Fair enough. For some, it might be even the escape out of some dark places, because all things have their place and they're under the sun.
Yeah.